Hello, people. How are you? Welcome to the favorite podcast. Edward, it's Monday. You look a little tired.
Well, I studied the weekend, and this weekend was happy because I was accepted for my professional stay where I wanted to be.
Why? Tell me how much they told you and when do you plan to start?
What happened is that I did my interview with an historian from the National Museum in Merida and was accepted. On Friday, after leaving class, the historian contacted me and told me about the detail of the project because we're weeks away from an exhibition of laughter coming to Yucatan from Italy, and some pieces of art that will be excited throughout the cathedral.
I suppose you will have some protocols to follow, since this painting and worth millions of dollars and euros. I don't know. I can get an idea of the magnitude of the event and the security that will be involved. But how do you feel about it? And what would be your function there?
Mm, my function will be to explain briefly about the literature and how it was modified over the years. We will have a special room where we can show a short documentary to tell the whole story we want to need for the majority of the public to get involved.
Tell me, how much you know about the literature?
Well, a curious fact that very few people know and was being described in this century was that France had a lot to do with the literature of the Italy. Did you know that?
No, in fact, my knowledge of literature is very little, but tell me more about that.
Okay. French prose and verse romance were popular in Italy from the 12th to the 14th century. Stories from the Carolingian and Arthurian cycle, together with free adaptations from the Latin Nordic classic, were read by the literary while French mythology recited verse in the public places. Took in northern Italy by the 13th century, a Franco-Venetian literature from the most apart animals had delivered Italian copied French story often dating and extracting by episode, and certain creating new comics featuring characters from the French world.
Wow, how do you know all that information, Eduardo?
A teacher in college told me, just I am sharing it with you. She told me that if you like to share your information, you are made for it, and this today and still think so.
So, the literature was influenced by France. It is interesting since this are a little no data. In addition, we can say that Italy was inspired by other countries and movements to have its own identity. Any other curiosity you would like to share with us?
Sure, acknowledged and curious is that Silesian poet continued to be writing after letter of Federico II, but the center of the literature activity shifted to Tuscany were to distracted in Portugal and Silesian lyric poetry had given to rise the several imitations by Eugene the Atherox and his followers. I thought you explained with elaborate marks for according to Dante in the Vulgari Eloquentia Cuderi language mixed dialectal elements with Latinx and Provençalics and had no the beauty of some school. Cutan was a vigorous and complex poem whose reputation fell victim to Dante's exactly to influence. On the other hand, eventually a new Italy was born in Italy, signed in additional Lucido and his followers were still writing a new table appeared in love poetry marked by a concept for persistent and sincere expression and new serious treatment of the love. It had become considered to speak of this new school of punk and adult still novel. In a page where emphasizing the delicacy of expression, sweetness of the sweetness of love. The mayor still novel poems orchid Cusellini of Bologna and the Tuscan Pugliese Kumpanaki Dante, particularly in the poems include the La Vita un Novo and Kino da Pisconelli together with the lesser poems La Boncini, Cine Alfoni and Dino Fuscolani. Those poems were influenced by the each other wars. Cusinelli was better known for his Canzano al Hoi poem composed in the series of Continental. Ramos' stance for the word Canzone is sometimes translated as a dove. Beginning are the cantic Shepherd and more. Interestingly, in West English, love always finds shade in the crinkling hair, which poses the question of the problematic relationship between the love of woman and love of the god. His poetry was intimately appreciated by Calvinati, a serious and experimentally lyrical poem. Most of Capolani's poems were strategy and technique of the modern effect of love, subject by Succulent Dante. Dante hesitated amid Calvinati for to his first frank put his concept of love inspired by his love for Beatrice who died young, had much more in common with Consolini than the Vita Novo in the retrospective story of love personality by presumably composed poems like to get and to sound excited, determined but from word of the located process that includes that the Trinity in the word of the Beatrice and the she can make God the true love on the inspired love of God. Mujer that is necessary for the lover to reach a state of purification. She noted that Pistonai used the vocabulary of the Estonian as these points were called in a originally way that is melodically psychological interpretation looks forward to Plutarch. A comparison of the language of the Synchrony with Silicon and Tuscan poems reveals an extensive conversion of the Tuscan dialect. Previously, local characteristics were removed and the standard Nordic literary language of Italy had created.
Wow, all this information led me perplexed. And with this last revelation, we said goodbye today. I hope you have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you and the exhibition.
Thanks.